So today I'm going to talk about the first step in meeting with a motivated seller in person, and that is rapport building. And there is a science behind this, a step-by-step process. If you think you know how to build rapport or what you or you're doing it really well, you've got another thing coming. That's the topic of today's video. Now, my name is Todd Toback, and I've wholesaled more than 1,000 houses, and 95% of those were locked up by somebody on my team and not by me personally. I specialize in transforming real estate wholesalers, hustlers, who want to build a business that operates without their day-to-day involvement so they can extract themselves and own an asset that's going to throw off cash month after month after month without their personal day-to-day involvement. So if you have not been to my site, nextlevelwholesaling.com, nextlevelwholesaling.com. After this video, head on over there, download the assessment. I created this for you so that you can evaluate yourself, find out exactly where you're at, take the blinders off, understand the very next step that you need to take so that you can start to extract yourself and get to that point where this thing is an asset and doesn't own you. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to meet with a motivated seller. And this training could be for you if you're a one-man show, as long as you've got that mindset that you're going to break free. Or if you've got an acquisition specialist, someone who's meeting with sellers on your behalf. This is going to be phenomenal training for you. This is the second part in the series. The first part was a summary on how to meet with a seller. Today we're going to focus on that first step, and that is rapport building. Now, many people, they think they understand what rapport is, right? They think they go to a seller and they say, "Hey, what's up? My name is Todd. Your name is Joe. Oh, you like the Cowboys? I like the Cowboys. Great. Let's talk about me buying your house for 60 cents on the dollar." That's not rapport. That is not rapport. That's not what you want to do. People will buy from someone who they know, they like, and they trust. Okay, know, like, and trust. And many times, people, they see right through your ability to kind of make small talk, right? And sit there and get a deal done. And so people want to do business with people who they feel a genuine connection with. So how do you create that? Well, I'm going to teach you how to do that in a couple minutes. I'm going to give you a step-by-step process on how you can actually measure this and dig deep here on how to do that. Again, there's a scientific process on how to do that. There's also a time not to do it, which I'm going to talk about. But when I talk about building rapport, I'm talking about you leave and say, "Wow, I really like Joe, A, B, and C," and really mean that, right? And so when you do that, price becomes less of an object. A lot of times people will say, "Well, I'm going to go with the highest offer," or "I'm going to, I want to sell my house and get X, Y, Z." And really, when it comes down to it, if they meet someone who they really like and they really get along with and they really trust, they're going to want to go with that guy. For example, we recently put insulation in my house, and we had this we have this vaulted ceilings in our house, and there wasn't insulation. Our house is really hot, and we started to get quotes. I think one quote was like $7,000, another quote was $10,000, another quote was like $11,000. And the guy came to our house, and we had multiple people give us bids, and the first guy just came in, out, said, "Yeah, I can do it in 3 weeks," and there was no connection there, right? The second guy came to our house. He was significantly higher than the second offer, I think by $3,000 or $4,000, but really built connection with me and my wife. Talked about how comfortable we were going to be in the summer and how the air conditioning would be so much more efficient, and just being in this room. And then he got talking how my wife homeschools and how the kids aren't as comfortable during the day and she's uncomfortable, and really just understood my wife's needs, even on a deeper level than I've talked to her about, on why she wanted this one room insulated better than it was. Well, long story short, he had built rapport with us, right? We knew, we liked, we trusted him. We had talked about much more than the insulation. And long story short, I paid $11,000 on an insulation job where we could have paid $7,000 going with somebody else. So I really want to encourage you that building rapport is key. All right, so how do you build rapport? Okay, well, the first thing that you do when you get to a seller's house, again, is you want to start conversation. And I'm going to tell you when there's a time not to do this. There's a very specific seller type not to do this with. But what you want to do is when you get into a property, you want to focus on people, places, and things. This is going to juice the conversation. So you don't want to say, "Hey, what's up?" right? You want to look for people that you have in common. Look for pictures on the wall, right? If you're a Republican, right, guess what? You talk about Republican stuff. If you're a Democrat, you talk about Democrat stuff, right? If you're a polarizing, politics are really, really polarizing, don't create conversation about politics unless you're sure of the other person's political preference and you're willing to stay on that side with them, right? If you're totally on the opposite and you don't want to go there, don't bring it up. Believe me. Ask me how I know this, right? So people, places, things. If there's an actor or a football player, so for example, I remember one time a topic came in about Joe Namath, right? And I love New York Jets. I love Joe Namath, and pretty much the deal was done. Right, places and travel. Obviously, if you see souvenirs and artifacts, bring that up, right? Understand, and things, right? If someone's got a really, really cool motorcycle and you are really into motorcycles, or an old car, or some really, really, really cool gadget, right? Sit there, take the time. Don't be in a rush to just get into business. You don't want to do that. That is really part of this process, and really the numbers are part 3 of this phase, so you don't have to rush from part 1 to part 3. You got to stay in phase 1, and this should last no less than 20 minutes. I mean, and if you could stretch it to an hour, that's great, especially if you sense there's some motivation there. So now we talk about people, places, and things. Here's what you want to do. Here's how you put some metrics to this. So I want you to pretend like there's a scale from 1 to 10, or let's call it 1 to 3, right? And level 1 rapport is when you're talking about something. So for me, I love tomatoes. You've heard me talk about tomatoes, right? So you go in there and you start saying, hey, I see your tomato garden. I love to grow tomatoes. You love to grow tomatoes. Wow, that's so great, right? How many do you have? Oh, well, we've already got 10. Well, oh man, I wish I could have that many. Right? And so now there's some rapport going, right? And that's very, very good. That's level 1. But most people do not get past level 1 rapport, right? And that's what everybody does. Every salesperson comes in and goes, hey, how you doing, right? And that's level 1. All right, well, let's squeak to level 2, right? Because we're really trying to get to level 3. So level 2 is when they teach you something. So for example, if we're talking about tomatoes, I say, wow, you've gotten, 30 tomatoes? I've only gotten 8. Tell me, how did you get your tomatoes so red, so large, so many? What are you doing that I'm not, right? And then you have that person teach you something. People love to teach, right? So level 2 rapport is when that person is teaching you about something. They love cars, have them teach you how to fix a carburetor. I don't know what it is, but now all of a sudden the rapport is genuine. There's something going on. There's movement, right? There's connection. And when someone teaches you, now you're really starting to bond. This is a mentor-mentee relationship. And now, right, they want you to win. They want you to win. So that's great. Let them teach you something. All right. And once you're there, ask more questions. They're giving. Don't feel like you're taking, right? It's a gift, right? You are giving them a gift by letting them teach you. All right. Now, level 3 is when you get there. This is when they give you something. Now you know at level 3 when they give you something. So now if they say, hey, you know what? I've got just so many of these tomatoes. Let me give you some of my bright, juicy red tomatoes. Oh, no, I couldn't, right? No, let me give them to you. Mary, get the tomatoes. Get a basket for Todd, right? Right now you know you're a level 3 rapport. Boom. Now you better lock up this house, because once you're at level 3 rapport, you're halfway there. So I really, really want to encourage you, rate yourself 1, 2, or 3. Number 1, they tell you about something. Number 2, they teach you something. And level 3 is they give you something. Very, 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 very important. If you're not at level 3, you're playing with the amateurs. All right. So is there an instance where you don't build rapport? Yes. Okay. Sometimes you're dealing with a very, very, very heavy D personality, a driver, and they're saying, give me the price. Boom, boom, boom. In these cases, you might want to skip to step 2 and step 3. Something I'm going to talk about later in these videos. Step 2 and 3, right? Step 2 is going to be the pain steps. 3 is going to be the what if step. So I'm going to talk about that in the subsequent videos. Okay, very, very, very important. By the way, you'll start to see that this is a sales system I talk about. Something that you can find out more about if you go to my website, again, nextlevelwholesaling.com, download that assessment. Also, if you want to know more about the sales techniques that I'm using, right, you want to go to nolimitsalessystem.com, nolimitsalessystem.com. I've got some videos there. Again, you can start to absorb this stuff and really understand it on a deeper level. Okay, so if you're really dealing with a driver, he may not want to build rapport. He just wants to get right to the numbers, really impatient, doesn't want to deal with the BS, and they might say, let's just get to the numbers. Fine, you have permission then to skip that step. Now, it's okay to build rapport if for whatever reason you don't get the numbers. So sometimes with a high D, a driver is you get there, they want to go right to the numbers, you couldn't get to the numbers, right? I'm going to actually do a bonus video and you try something called the give up. A give up, that's a little total ninja trick, which I'm not going to talk about this video on the next. But if there's a real driver, they might want to talk about the numbers, and that's fine. You could try to sprinkle in a little bit of rapport and do that as best as you can. But if they're getting impatient, they don't want to talk about it, and it's really annoying to them, then that's okay to get in and play their game. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Watch out for number 2, which is the pain step, which is one of my favorite steps, by the way. Check out the assessment, nextlevelwholesaling.com. You've got to download it. It's really going to open your eyes and give you that next step. Also, don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that little bell notification. Share the videos also in the comments below. Let me know what you want to learn about. The more interaction I get from you, the more time I'll spend in here and create some more content. Talk to you soon. Bye.